for
Yeah.
your site. I checked out your website the other day. So did that go well?
Yeah, so he just started it off hoping to get maybe a couple $100 from his friends and family and things like that. And then we kind of took the cause as our own. And within 24 hours, with a big contribution from us and everybody else, we'd raised almost $2,000. And now I think he's getting kind of scared because at $10,000, Facebook generates a 1099, and he's somewhere around $8,000 right now.
Oh,
And that's
well,
not counting all the physical donations of water and dog food and clothes and things like that. That we've taken so much in at our stores, he doesn't know what to do with it all.
oh, wow. So good problem to have, but
Right.
interesting. Um, all right, so we're live on Facebook, so that means we can get started. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm also going to post a link on the Facebook stream of the free downloads. You guys can go ahead and download the swipe file that we put together. There's over 80 pages. I actually never counted how many screenshots that we have, but there are plenty of ideas for you guys to borrow from for holiday promotions. And before we get started, I'm going to just share with you some of the stuff that I've learned from working on e-commerce sites for the last 5 years. I've been managing, people don't know this, but I work at partycity.com for my 9 to 5 most of the time. And for the last 5 years, I've been managing their promotions. So if you go to partycity.com right now and you were to look at the coupons that are being published on their site, you will see there's like coupon codes, printable coupons, all the messaging and stuff. I manage all that. I've been doing that for the last 5 years. So through that experience, I've learned a lot about the type of promotions that are successful, the sort of the other different types of formats that you may not know about, like because everybody kind of automatically assumes, oh, just 20% off will be my discount, and maybe they don't realize that there's a lot of other options that they have for doing discounts and the pros and cons of each. So I've in that file that I'll show you, I'll be sharing my screen and showing you the file. I have the different types of promotions that you can do, that the pros and cons, some best practices for holiday promotions, and then we have like I said, like probably over 50 at least screenshots of different promotions from vape companies, from Halloween, all the big holidays from 2017. So it's going to give you guys a lot of ideas and a lot of information on what you can do for holidays 2018. And also, Jimmy's been very generous to provide his Black Friday and Christmas promotions that he did last year, or I think he's doing this year. Um, so with that said, I'm just going to post a comment and with that link to download the file so you can follow along, or you can see the screen share that I'm going to be doing. Download our swipe file. Cool. Oh, interesting. So, um, so the vape shop certification thing on my top left, that shows as not backwards, right? To you, correct?
It looks backwards to me.
It's
It's
backwards.
backwards to you.
Jesse, it's the mirror image on your the thing that allows you to put the backdrop in there. There's one little button that
Interesting.
says mirror image, and that'll reverse it.
Where does that say it?
It's in the little console for it. It's not that big a deal. It still looks good. The picture looks good. But if you go to the little console where you set up the um, the actual background thing, I forget
Yeah.
what they call it, virtual background. You'll see a little box here that says mirror. It's either checked or unchecked. Do the opposite.
Hmm. I'm not seeing that. Anyway, um,
That
I
was
have,
worse, by the way, because it took it away.
yeah. All right. Now it's all messed up. Well, anyway, um, let's just do this and then this. Now that's actually
There you
showing
go.
correctly, isn't it?
That No, it's good.
All right. Well, we'll move on. All right. With that said, I'm gonna share my screen. We'll get started on this swipe file here. Um, so, um, share screen. And we're going to do the, let's see here, Microsoft Word. All right, everybody see that?
Yep.
Cool. All right, so I'm going to go over, like I said, some of the holiday promotions that that you can take inspiration from. So you know, I'm gonna kind of breeze through these because we actually have a lot of stuff to go through. But anyway, most common one that you see is like percent off, no minimum, right? Someone thinks I'm gonna do a promotion, just do 20% off flat. Well, that's easy for people to understand. The pros and cons of that are like people get that. It's always easy to understand. It's high value. People are going to be easily be able to understand like what the value is to them, right? But it applies to orders of every amount, right? So if they're spend $100, that's $20 off, right? If they spend $5, then that's whatever 20 cents off or whatever, that $2 off or whatever it is, right? So it doesn't encourage people to the cons of that is it doesn't people encourage to build a larger basket. What I mean by that is like when you have a threshold like a 20% off 50, people are like, I better get to $50. So they start adding more to their basket, and that is good because you always want to be driving more average order value, right? So you have to be considering that when you don't just do straight 20% off. Like think about what you want the customer to, what behavior you want to reward, right? And so you always want to reward a higher value, a higher basket value. So that's the benefits of adding a threshold to a 20% off. The drawbacks are obviously it's less attractive to the customer. Now they have to spend $50. So there's always a trade-off, right? No marketing activity is perfect. So if you know, and the other thing about a threshold, that's true for any threshold, is your competitor could come in and say, oh, he's offering 20% off 50. I'll offer 20% off even 49. And it would drive people to that, possibly drive people to their promotion over yours, right? So once you set that $50 threshold, then you have the opportunity for someone to swoop in and offer a lower threshold. So that's kind of the basic idea. The difference between 20% off and $1 off is like, it's for instance like a 10 off 50 is, and again, it's easy to understand and implement. It still encourages the basket, but that savings of $10 is locked in. So if they order a $100 basket, they're still only getting $10 off. So you save money. Now but that also, the trade-off is the consumer doesn't get that same amount of savings, right? So they're not rewarded for buying more. So they're probably going to stick around $50 at their basket. Whereas a 20% off 50, they might actually go for more and get a bigger basket. So that's that. One of the ways around that is something called a buy more, save more. So you might have seen this, like there's 3 different thresholds, right? So 10 off 50, 20 off 80, 30 off 100. And you want to pick those thresholds based on the baskets that you've seen in your carts, right? Jim, you can pop in and see if you think what threshold you might pick for that. But this encourages baskets of up to $100, right? Because they're going to they want to reach for that bigger savings. And but it also rewards people at all spending levels. Not everybody wants to spend $100. People only spend a small amount. They get rewarded too. They get to participate in the promo, but the other people may not be able, but the people who want to spend more also get a bigger discount. So you're rewarding, but you're also including. And the other thing about that is like the 20% off flat rate, like this percent off, the percentage savings is basically locked in at each spending level, right? So obviously if you're at $79, then you have a more like a smaller percentage of savings or larger percentage of savings than if you're like at just right over at $51, right? So like you'll get, if you're at 10 off 50, if your basket is at $50, you get $10 off. If your basket goes to 80, you get $20 off. So like it protects you from having to give away so much margin is what I'm trying to get to. But the cons of that is some POS systems don't actually have the capability to do that. I've seen that some e-commerce sites don't actually have that. I don't think Shopify does that out of the box. I'm not so sure. So that it does. Okay.
I don't think it does.
It does not. Okay. Yeah. So you might have to buy a plugin or something to do that. Right. BOGO, buy one, get one, very popular as well. The pros of this is, you drive volume sales, so you get rid of extra stock, and it's got a high perceived value to the customer. But the cons are you might run out of inventory because you're giving out volume. And you also, if one person comes in and just buys a whole bunch of e-liquid, well, that person's probably not coming back to your shop for a while. So, you know, having limits to the number of per customer BOGOs they can take advantage of might be a good idea. You'll see a screenshot of that in actually one of the promos. And there's bundle deals, which is part of his screenshots that he's going to share with us. Example is buy this hardware and this e-liquid and this accessory, and you get a discount for, you know, something that you normally would have never been able to buy that for, right? And so again, that's driving volume. You're increasing the category that they're buying from. They're not just buying hardware or e-liquid, they're buying all kinds of different stuff. High perceived value to the customer. It's awesome for gifting for Christmas. And you know, I don't really think this is so much of a problem in the vape industry, but in other industries where manufactured advertised price is, or retailers, whatever, the manufacturer advertised price or MSRP, you're normally not supposed to advertise your stuff underneath a certain price. Otherwise, what's the point of the price? But by doing a bundle, you can sell things for cheaper and not advertise at that price. So it saves you in that. But actually, Jimmy, what do you have to say about bundle deals? Because you're going to be doing a bundle deal for Christmas, right?
Yeah. We try and always have some sort of bundle deal available. They're one of our favorites because you can basically look at your what your cost is on all those items, and you can kind of pick and choose the items, especially if you've had something that hasn't really been performing well by itself. As soon as you throw it in a bundle and give it a really good price, it'll be flying. And you can also pick, you know, a popular item that has a really good margin on it. And, you know, you put a bunch of high margin items together, you can give a steeper discount, and it's a larger perceived value to the customer. And then after, you know, if it does well after your sale ends, you can continue to do that bundle, but at a higher price where you continue to make a really good margin on it.
Right. And I like bundles a lot for that reason as well, for all those reasons. So yeah, like you said, remember to bundle your higher margin stuff together. Because that's just smarter financially. So flash sales are also really popular. I think they're maybe harder to do if you're a brick and mortar, because sometimes a lot of flash sales are just like, hey, all of a sudden we're doing a flash sale. We didn't even announce it until just now, right? So you're not going to really get people to like, oh, I better stop work right now and come over to your shop. Maybe you can, but it's better more for e-commerce. So if you have an e-commerce section for your store, then it'll still work. If you're going to do a flash sale, you have to plan it ahead. If you're brick and mortar, you have to kind of say, hey, we're doing this special sale from these hours, and maybe give them a day at least to plan for it, and do it in hours where people can stop by after work or something like that. But I love flash sales because anything that drives urgency and scarcity is okay in my book, because that always works. And they're highly shareable, right? So especially if it's e-commerce, if you're doing a flash sale, people are going to be talking about it. And usually you do flash sales just to create customers. So if you're anything that's high discount, you want to think I'm creating customers at least, even though I may not be making the margin I want, you know, you'll be creating customers.
You can do the same thing in a brick and mortar. One way to make it a little easier to execute is it's sort of a flash sale, and it's really popular to do on Black Friday, where you advertise well ahead of time, along with your standard promotions that, hey, from 8 a.m. until 10 p.m., this product is at this ridiculous price. And after 10 a.m., you'll probably be out of them, first and foremost. And if you're not, then you go back to whatever price you want to charge for it.
Right. Yep. You see, it's all about planning ahead. And and also just taking advantage of trends. So there's a little I'll get to that in my best practices. So free ground and all. So this is more e-commerce. I'll kind of burn through these as quickly as I can. Free ground on all orders. Basically free ground no minimum. Again, easy to understand. Any kind of free shipping offer is great on e-commerce. Problem is, people are going to be buying those smaller items, low margin items. You probably lose money on shipping on the smaller orders. So, high value but low reward for you. Does not encourage a larger basket. Free shipping with a threshold on the other hand, does encourage a larger basket. more than likely to buy the bigger items because maybe you buy $50 in coils or something, but probably just buy, those bunch of juice or something like that. Excuse me, e-liquid. Less attractive to customer anytime there's a threshold, like I said, a competitor to come in and beat you out, right? The free or discounted expedited shipping is something that I don't really see a lot of people doing, although, the more advanced e-commerce shops do. But if you're an e-commerce site, you want to think about your expedited offers when you're talking about deadlines for, Christmas and New Year's and stuff like that. Because, unfortunately, people are lazy, people procrastinate. They want to get their, stuff before Christmas, but it's December 20th and free ground won't get there in time. So think about offering and making sure you have an offer for those people that are late. And if I would not recommend doing any kind of expedited shipping offer without a threshold, because you'll lose money like crazy. But even if you can capture a few of those last minute procrastinators by offering expedited offers like next day air and 3-day shipping, then you should try to do that. And the best practice for holiday sales, take advantage of urgency and scarcity. Like I said, order before this time to get it by this time, today only for the flash sales. You want to theme your discounts to the holiday. Obviously any type of, you can come up with something quirky, like stocking stuffers, or if they maybe reward people to wear a Halloween costume when they come into your store on Halloween to get the discount. Anything that you can encourage people to engage with or feel connected to the holiday through what you're marketing, and then it's always a good idea. Including like the promo code that you use, whatever. Take advantage of the trends. Don't miss out on Black Friday or Cyber Monday. Like if you're just let's say a e-commerce site, don't think that Black Friday isn't something you can participate in. Same thing is true with Cyber Monday. If you're just an e-commerce or brick and mortar shop, don't think that you can't have a Cyber Monday deal either. I mean, it doesn't really matter to my opinion. Do you have any input on that, Jimmy?
No, I mean, we don't usually do just Black Friday. I mean, we'll do Black Friday, and then of course you've got people that are going to be out of town, especially because it's the day after Thanksgiving, so they'll be out of town and everything, but they might be coming back and be back by Monday. So we'll usually do a little something for that, but it's nowhere near as aggressive as the Black Friday is.
Yeah. I would say take inspiration from big box retailers and your competitors. So there's no shame in copying what's working, even if it's a retailer that's not even in your category. If you're in Walmart and you see an interesting promo, like don't be afraid to copy it. And when you are doing these sales, just remember to post everywhere multiple times on all the different social media. And even in-store signage. Don't forget about in-store signage. And just make sure everybody knows about it. Absolutely. So before we get into the screenshots, anything you want to, what's on your mind right now, Jimmy? Anything particular?
So specifically if you scroll back up a little bit, for posting everywhere, specifically for that, I'm huge on in-store signage. I mean, you'll have people that will not have Facebook, or they won't be set up in your rewards program and stuff like that, but they might be regular loyal customers of yours, and they, without one of your employees telling them, hey, we're going to have this sale this day, or we've got this going on, just having it, we put it on the door, we put it all over the counters. It's, my background in retail is in many different things, and signage is always huge. And with that also, if you don't have a loyalty program, you need to have one, period. I mean, it's so huge for this. When we do the whole Facebook and Instagram and changing our cover photo and everything to get the most amount of views on that. But when it comes down to it, like a day or two, like usually the day before Thanksgiving, we send out our Black Friday text message, or I think we also have done it on Black Friday. Anyways, when we send out that text message, that is what really gets people fired up. And then they see that, on their phone, everybody's going to check their text messages. That's what really the biggest thing right there, just being able to do that.
Yep. And also one of the things I probably should have mentioned, but didn't, and this is something you don't see on a lot of these screenshots we're going to go over, is double rewards points on this day, or, you know, certain like offering rewards points or more rewards points for a certain, you know, type of thing you want them to buy is a way that you can really give a lot of value for encouraging this type certain purchase, but not actually giving up a ton of margin. So have you ever experimented with that, Jimmy?
We usually don't do that sort of stuff, but it's definitely interesting to me. And a lot of the sort of promotions that you mentioned are really interesting. In fact, the one that was, if you spend 70, you get this amount. If you spend like 120, you get that much. I actually just took advantage of that on Jags, ordering parts for this truck I just bought, and I thought to myself, that's a really cool sort of discount structure. We might try and do something like that at the store. So you definitely don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
With this. You could just do a really aggressive discount, because the holidays is when people are really loosening the purse strings.
Yep. All right. So, I think Halloween, by the way, I mean, like I said, I worked at Party City, or I do work at Party City still. So, Halloween, people may not know, is a freaking huge holiday. I mean, it's enormous, and it kind of gets forgotten, I think. I mean, maybe not, but, you know, I think you have to, I think you have to consider it in the same level as Black Friday and Cyber Monday, because mostly because maybe other people aren't really considering it a big holiday, but you know, it's also such an engaging holiday. You know, like I said, you can reward people for doing, you know, things like bringing in wearing a costume on Halloween or whatever, or you can do trick-or-treating. Well, maybe not a good idea for your vape shop to do trick-or-treating, but things like that.
Adults like candy too, right? Adults
yeah.
love
yeah,
our
I take
flavors.
that back immediately. But you know, it's just a cool holiday. So for instance, you know, this is actually, this is not, these are more examples of like, you know, we're seeing a lot of, and these, I went through these before this, and these are a lot of people just do giveaways on Halloween. So you'll see a lot of examples like that. Like this is just kind of like a, hey, we're giving this away for Halloween. This was an interesting one where it's basically just, you know, pumpkin orange styled mod that they're giving out, or they're launching for Halloween. So, you know, mostly for a hardware company, but this is examples of people who are taking advantage of Halloween, because some people are, and a lot of the people, there's so many people that are just like horror movie fans like crazy, like anything that's gore and anything that's gory or a horror movie, they just love it. So you could have a, you know, a horror movie viewing night or something at your shop, things like that. It's super engaging. But I mean, here's just an example. I like this one because it's, you know, 15% off flat, right? So, you know, it's super attractive, super easy, but you can notice the promo code is trick or treat. So it's a themed promo code. And it's now through October 31st. This is obviously something they posted on Instagram, and, you know, went straight to Facebook. Here's an example of a flash sale. So this is a steep to $2.99 for 60 milliliter house bottles is ridiculously low. And this is an example of, you know, collecting as many customers as you can during a small period of time. So have you ever done anything like this, Jimmy? Something so this steep?
Only on stuff we want to get rid of and not bring back.
Right. And so it's kind of
but that kind of stuff is great for this. I mean, we keep a clearance case pretty well stocked with juice, and we just right off the top 50%, anything in that case, go ahead. And
yep.
it works very well.
Another themed post here. This is more of a just kind of a promotion, but they are doing 10% off for vape kits. Mostly pay attention to the hashtags in there. This is from India. But here's an example of a giveaway. And the best practice for a giveaway is to make sure that you're doing a coupon along with the discount, the giveaway. So if you are going to be running a giveaway or a themed giveaway, make sure that people can still shop during the giveaway, or people who didn't win can still take a, you know, the idea for giveaways to get eyes on your brand, but not everyone's going to win it, obviously. So you don't want to just give things away. You want to at least have a coupon running at the same time. So if you go through the swipe file, you'll see that that's a best practice as well for if you're doing a giveaway. Here's one that I loved. I want to go through this one. This is 35% off all premium USA made liquid. I have a lot to say about this because 35% is super steep. And I think it would make people question, okay, you're giving this away for 35% off. What?
Like, is it all made in the US? Like the stuff that you carry, are you carrying stuff that's made in China?
Yeah.
What's the deal?
Or I would be thinking, okay, this is how much are you making off me on when you sell this to me at regular price? If you're willing to give away 35%.
Right.
You know, so you have to be careful, mindful of like what you're selling you're telling your customers when you choose a certain, you know, percentage off. But I like this one a lot because it's super themed. $66.60 off of this hardware. So obviously 666. I like anything that's clever like that, which is what I was trying to mention earlier as the best practices. Spooktacular, that's a pretty overblown little, I don't know what you call it, but, you know, feel free to use it. 10 days of savings. There's another 20% off, no minimum, but there is a timeline, clearly defined timeline. And I actually like this. It says expect delays in processing due to demand of sale. I don't know if they really mean that. It could be a trust me, I'm lying type of thing to get people to sell, to buy it, but it might work, you know? Or it could be true. I don't know. Now, this is another example of a giveaway with a coupon, 35% off. This is the same Crystal Canyon vapes. So they decided to roll in a giveaway with that. So I'm going to go through these. Just stop me if you want, Jimmy, because there's a lot of these. So this is actually a smoke and vape shop. So they're doing 20% off glass plus 5% off vapes. 5% is really nothing to get people to come into your shop really for.
Showing their cards on that one where the margin is.
Exactly, right? That's exactly right. So 5%, I wouldn't even mess with 5%. Don't even, I mean, it's got to be at least 10%.
Don't
even
bother me with 5%.
Yeah, get out of here with 5%.
Charge me the 5%. Don't do that.
Oh, this is actually really interesting the way they did this. This was actually an announcement that says, hey, there's a sale, Halloween sale going on, but it's only an email exclusive. So you have to be an email subscriber to get it. So they're trying to pull their Facebook followers over to their email list, which is a really good idea. So that's actually a really, really good example of cross-platforming your promotion. So this is a sales. So they're actually, this is a Halloween vaping sales list. So basically they picked a bunch of products and they gave them a discount, and yet you use the code HLW for the fee. So I think there's only, you have to go to the special page to see the discount. So anything that you can reward your current followers with, but hide from your, you know, casual fans, I think is a good idea. How would you go out picking the stuff that you would want to include in this, Jimmy?
The first thing I would look at would be margin. I'd want to pick high margin items for, you know, and also what I suspect is that this up to 60% off, they're going to have the heaviest discounts on stuff that they want to get rid of. Stuff that's been sitting around and all that. Usually when you see lists like that, you're really hyped up. You think, oh, cool, 60% off. And you go and look and it's like a bunch of last year's models and old stuff. But it's always, you know, you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's always good to throw in a couple of, you know, a couple other things, maybe a lower discount on them that people are actually really seeking out and buying a lot of.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, actually, that's a good point. I mean, you know, anytime you've got a rise in activity, it's an opportunity to clear out inventory, you know, because people just get in that like buy, click mode, and you can just, you know, you can clear out some stuff. Another example of you know, something that tried to go viral. I don't know if this was successful, but looks like nobody commented on it. but an idea for a giveaway. And it's themed trick or treat, right? Another themed trick or kind of like giveaway type of deal. And again, they have a 20% off site wide while this is going on, and 50% off clearance sale on items with code Halloween Wismic 15. So they have both a regular site wide offer and then a clearance offer during the giveaway. So another example of adding a gift to the giveaway. All right. I'm going to, I think we kind of covered most of what is interesting. This is just Facebook, by the way. If you download this file, I've got Twitter and Instagram below it, and they're all different. But I think if we just go through Facebook, it'll be enough to give you guys ideas. But if you were to download this, you'll get actually a lot more of the screenshots that we're going to even cover in this Facebook Live. Oh, here we go. Here's Jimmy's generously provided graphics. So tell us about this one real quick.
So in my defense, some of these are from like 2 years ago when I very first started using Canva.
Oh,
So this is some of my very early work, but this was actually pretty popular because I was like, they're like, what should this say? And you try and kind of keep things professional. I was like, you know what? Let's just put something kind of stupid in there. So save many dollars. And a lot of credit goes to John Eder over at US Vape Co. Because about 2 years ago, he put out a great sort of like step-by-step, here's what you do to have a great Black Friday. And basically in the first week or two of, it's like a 3 or 4 step program or process. And in the first week of, November, towards, just after Halloween, you start posting stuff that starts to hint that, okay, this is going to be big. You should pay attention to this.
mm-hmm.
And, change your cover photos so all kinds of people see that. And then you do something like this image here where you're really kind of vague about it. You give a date, you tell them, the brand, and you can, probably have, more than a few things on sale, more, multiple different brands and things like that. So you can kind of brand it too. And the brand was done intentionally. So what I did was I reached out to the manufacturer and I said, hey, I want to have some really deep discounts. I want to offer some mind-blowing stuff that like some of the big box retailers do. But in order to do that, I'm going to need to place and I'm going to, obviously you're going to do a lot of volume that day. So I'll place a huge order with you, but I need to save more than what I usually do. So you kind of work on volume and all that. You're basically offering them, look, this is a one-time big order. We're going to blow it out on one day, so you'll get another regular order. But you save money, which allows you to, you might have a 50% off, but if you do a big enough order with these companies and you save enough money, you can do that and still maintain really good margins. And then, and part of that is saying, hey, we'll make sure and advertise and push your brand. So this is an opportunity for you to get in the hands of a lot of people that might not have otherwise purchased your product. It's one of my favorite lines. Anybody that works with me that's watching this will know that.
That's awesome advice, by the way, because a lot of I think when we're in retail, we think about how the customer can save or how we can help the customer in their instant, but this brand is going to want to sell as many as possible, and you can just be like, hey man, I've got this crazy sale going on, but I need help. You can use that, you can leverage that to get a better wholesale deal, and that's really good advice.
Yeah, because you're like you showed earlier, your flat discount where 25% might normally seem really steep. If you pay 25% less at wholesale, all of a sudden 25% discounts nothing. You're still making more than your regular margins at that point. So you can afford to do something really crazy, and that's going to attract people's attention right there.
Yep. Maybe we can get Jonathan Nature to share his little Black Friday thing for us. He's usually pretty generous with that kind of stuff. Here's another one that I have a comment on, but let me tell you, let us know how this did. Let me, is this for this year or was this last year?
This may have been 2 years ago, a year, 2 years ago. Judging by the device, I want to say it was 2 years ago. And this it might have been so there was a full page one that we actually put in the store so we could point to it rather than okay, you get this mod, you can get this juice, and then this is your battery. You can just point to the picture and they're like, oh, okay. That did very, very well for us. We sold a ton of those things. And that was another thing. I reached out to distributors and found, we wanted to kind of do like a $60 kit, like a $90 kit. You'll see that in some of these other ones, to where if somebody only, they only had a budget of 50, $60, they could still take advantage of something like this. But we sold a lot of those, and we placed a huge bulk order and got the kits at a really great price. So our margins were basically the same as they would be as if we got it at the standard price and sold it for $80,
That another example of you leveraging your own marketing to get those better deals. So I mean, look at this. Wow, this is almost 50% off, or about 50% off, right? What
Right.
would normally cost? Holy cow.
The little asterisk there is that if somebody were to buy in our store at least, if they were to buy the Evo 75 kit with the battery, we'd throw the liquid in anyways, but we don't necessarily need to tell them that in our advertising.
Yeah. The only thing I would recommend for this is to add a normally priced blank, so that they know what the savings is. I mean, you got it right here, but I mean, this is pretty.
The total would have been helpful to see as well.
So this is the in-store signage, I guess, right?
Yeah, the ones that are really, those two are the ones that we actually printed off and had sitting on the case, and it made it really easy. Because I mean, we had a ton of people. I want to say this was last year's that we did, and we had, I mean, our foot traffic was absolutely insane, and the sales that day were mind-boggling. So you don't necessarily have time with every customer that wants to come in and get one of these kits. You don't necessarily have the time to show them, okay, well, this is the one, and you get all this stuff, and it's $79.95. The visual representation of it saves so much time, and it makes so much more sense to the customer than you just rattling off, okay, it's the Revenger, it's the AWTC2 charger, and the 30Q battery. That is, you're speaking Egyptian to to most vapors in my experience. But if you can just show them, look, it's your batteries, it's your charger, it's this mod right here, and you can pick whatever bottle of juice you want as long as it's less than $25. And that was really printed off so that, and people might have come in just for juice, and while they're waiting around because there's a huge line at the register, they'll see that there and they'll be like, you know what, I don't really need a mod, but I'm not going to say no at that price.
Yeah, because everyone has friends. Everyone's trying to convert their buddies and their mom and their dad and their brother to vaping. And it's holiday season, and it's like, wow, I didn't think about getting this as a present, but why not? And that's the type of mentality that you have to remember you're dealing with during the holidays. This is awesome promo. So now we're going into Black Friday for some of the other brands out there. So I like this one because it's multi-category. So what I think this psychologically, when it's like, oh, just 50% off, 30% off everything, it just this has much more of an impact, I feel like, when it's like, when you kind of split it up like this, because it starts getting the wheels turning a little bit about what they might want to buy, so think about this in terms of, plus by splitting up, you can give away much more margin on liquids than you can on hardware. So This actually helps you too by splitting it this way. So that's just an interesting one I thought was actually pretty good. Now this one, I don't know, this didn't look that successful in my opinion, because it's like $50 off and it's only one type of mod, and it's for one day from Black Friday to Cyber Monday.
It's got one wow react probably reacting to the price, like $150 for I love hexomes, but $150 for 3-year-old technology.
Yeah.
There's
and that's
for it, but not for me.
Yeah, so this is an example of being a little bit out of touch. And this was last year, so it's still old even then. It's too narrow. This is way, way too narrow of a promo. So this is another, they're giving away $1,500 in cash to spend in store. Now I like that promo. Anytime, gift cards are nice, but they're not going to spend it with you. Cash is nice, but they're not going to spend it with you. So anytime you can give them in-store credit, I think that that's a benefit.
Yeah, I think 1,500 is probably, I mean, it's really attractive, but it's probably too much. I mean, if somebody gave me a gift card with $1,500 to spend in my own store, I don't know what I'd do with it. I'd be completely overwhelmed. Like, I guess I'm just never paying for liquid this year.
Yeah, it's basically a year's supply of liquid. I mean, almost at least 6 months. So, yeah, I guess they'll be coming back regularly. But I don't know how much that will help with your sales. $9.99 flash sale.
For what?
I don't even know. So this is an example of not being clear enough of what you're selling. I don't know what is Vape TO.
They make hardware.
Okay.
They're kind of a lesser known Chinese manufacturer. They make like mods and tanks and stuff like that.
Yeah, so not clear enough. It needs to pass the scroll test. If they're scrolling through Facebook and they don't stop on it, then it failed the scroll test. So that probably failed the scroll test. Let's see, 50% off. I would have added something to the graphic here.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It just looks like they pulled a picture from their Instagram and then put their sale in the text. I mean, because the sale that they're running is excellent. I mean, that looks really attractive. But
Yeah.
unless you stop to actually read the post, and it's like, okay, it's just another picture of a mod with some juice. I'm gonna scroll past it, and you just missed out on something you might have otherwise really wanted to buy and spend a lot of money with.
Yep, this is an example of not passing the scroll test. I'm going to answer a question real quick in the Q&A before I forget. Kyle is asking a couple questions that we can good to stop on. What are your guys' thoughts on doing big prize giveaways for Black Friday? Does it really drive business for a vape shop? Example prizes, TVs, game systems, stuff like that.
I'm personally not huge on big prize giveaways and stuff. We've done stuff like that in the past. We've done some raffles recently as well, and the raffles usually do pretty well for us. It's a little bit of an anomaly because we had a hurricane blow through right in the middle of selling tickets for the raffle, so that was kind of a fluke. But they're hit or miss. Either you have a lot of people wanting to come in and get in on it, but you kind of have to make it work for you. You'd want to grab people. It's just like any other sweepstakes. You sign up for a sweepstakes and all of a sudden you start getting blasted with credit card offers and things in the mail, advertisements. So you'd want to collect their information for your rewards program. And you'd also would want, if you advertise it far and wide, you could get people coming in that don't even vape and don't smoke either. There's no reason to be giving them a TV.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know that Jonathan Eater does it a lot with Bonsai.
Yeah, he's slowed down on it a little bit. And I don't want to step on his toes by answering for him, but he was kind of in the same thing, like, okay, I'm doing these giveaways and stuff like that, and we're getting lots of reactions and things like that. But what does it really do for me at the end of the day? I don't think he told me that it didn't really move the needle for them a whole lot in terms of sales or,
Yeah.
or anything like that.
It's really hard to track success, man. I mean, it's so hard to track because what it is your brand top of mind? And it's pretty much impossible to know. You're not psychic, so you don't know what people are thinking. So, the argument for this type of stuff is that people are super engaged and they might have, if they win, they'll have a positive emotional connection to your brand. And if it's going on for a month, well, then you're going to get a lot of eyeballs on your brand and stuff. I mean, that stuff's just hard to track back to success.
We did we had like a customer appreciation day, just kind of out of the blue. And we were doing the raffle drawing that day too. And we were giving away sandwiches from Firehouse. It's obviously not a big prize giveaway, but you come in, grab a sandwich, don't spend any money, just take the sandwich. And we ended up with entirely too much food. So I'm personally really not a big fan of big prize giveaway, even small prize giveaways.
I saw you post that. You said, please take our sandwiches away from us.
It was bad. It was really bad.
Yeah. So Heather says we do a raffle all November long. Every $10 spent gets a ticket in the box, and we give away various prizes all day long on Black Friday. People seem to like it.
I do like raffles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's an automatic raffle, so that's nice. I mean, I guess do they have to be there to claim the prize, Heather? Um, Probably not. So, I mean, I mean, if they don't have to be there, if you call them, well, then I think the idea with Black Friday is to get people in your store. So, um, as long I would be, I would, I like the idea as long as, but if it doesn't drive people into your store, then I think you might be missing some opportunity. But I like the idea in general. And then Kyle asks, we offered our giveaways last year by giving each $25 spent all day a raffle entry, and they had to be on our new rewards program. Okay, that's a good idea. Yeah. Giving a
I like that.
stipulation
I like
like
that too. Is and it really benefits as well, because then if they're not already in your system, then you get them added, and that's you can't put a price tag on that.
yep. And then Kyle asks, is there such a thing as too many bundle deals? What is the perfect number to not overwhelm the customer but provide a good amount of options? Dude, I think two is like perfect. I
Yeah,
think what you had is good.
there's definitely such a thing as too many bundle deals when it gets to the point where it's confusing for customers, and I think that's pretty hard stop it too when you're showing and explaining, okay, well, this one comes with batteries, but that one doesn't because it's an internal battery, or it doesn't because you supply your own batteries. It gets really confusing. So we like to do one, maybe two at a time. Um, but what we don't really necessarily advertise is that at our store, just about every kit is a bundle deal, because as soon as you purchase enough, as soon as you purchase enough equipment to constitute a full kit, so that'd be like a tank and a mod, we always kick in the juice. So as soon as somebody starts coming in talking about starter kit, we're like, okay, well, the prices you see here are going to be your walking out the door vaping the thing price. We're not going to nickel and dime you after the sale. This is, and then everything turns into a bundle at that point without being complex.
Yeah. I think complexity is the key for sure. And also, by the way, if you're going to be trying to do what Jimmy was talking about with contacting your distributor, your wholesaler, and saying, hey, I want to do this big promo. Can you give me a deal on hardware or whatever? The more bundles you have, the harder that's going to be, more complicated it is for you too. So I think one is good, man. Just pick your most popular, two most, the things are going to move. And just go with that. I mean, there's no reason to overcomplicate it. I think that's the biggest people do is they overcomplicate things. So yeah, back to this. This did not pass the scroll test. Not a good promo. Always add graphics to the image. Here's way too many graphics. Here's the exact opposite. Oh my God. This is
I'm not going to
exactly what
stop
we
to
were
read
just
that.
talking
I'm
about.
going to see a whole bunch of 50s, and it's just not good design.
No, this is somebody who thought they were good at design did this. Because I know that this is what it would look like if I tried it. And this is an example. Sorry, Central Iowa Vapors. I hope you guys are doing well, but this is an example of not a good graphic. Too confusing, way too many things going on there. Okay. I don't even know. This doesn't look that interesting to me. Too narrow.
I like it. Because Subohm Innovations, they are an RDA manufacturer, so they make RDAs and like mech mods and stuff like that. So they don't have, it's narrow because they don't have a ton of stuff that they offer anyways, I think. So a little bit of context is key there, but I don't know how much a SZX chuff cap costs. It's kind of a cool thing. Like if
Okay.
you for a shop, you could maybe say if you buy this mod, you get this tank for free, or you get a free pack of coils with it or something like that. We've done things like that in the past with success.
Yeah. So this is an example of when you have, it's good for that specific brand. Here's a bundle. I would say 10% off all products. So it's already too confusing for me. The graphic's not clear enough. So this might be a good offer, but it's not communicated very well. Okay, we're gonna try to skip past Black Friday and just so we can get to the other holidays because we're already about an hour. So, are you good on time, Jimmy?
Yeah, I've got all the time in the world.
Cool. This is a really stupid graphic. B Vape. I don't even know what this is.
Best offers.
Yeah, it's an example of not putting what the sale is. Huh?
Exactly. Yeah, they didn't put the actual offer into the graphic. I was looking for it, but it's in the text.
Nope. Yeah. All right. This might be one of those things. This is 20. So, see, I just don't like it when it's like Black Friday sale because you're going to see that everyone's going to have that exact same messaging. So, it's got to be. I mean, I'm not saying don't do it, but I would say, like you said, Jimmy, lead up to it with some Black Friday messaging like this.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to call it something ridiculous either. I think we did that one year and it was successful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, get quirky with it. Try to stand out. I mean, the purple cow, right? From Seth Godin. If you've read that book, it's all about standing out. I mean, you see a cow. The whole thing about that book is you're driving through middle America and you just see cows, and you're just not going to look at it. Eventually you're going to stop looking until you see a purple cow, and then you're going to stop your car and take a picture. So you have to be the purple cow, and that's the whole idea. So this doesn't pass the purple cow test, although I like the way the graphic looks. All right. We can go on this forever, but again, this is available if you click on the link in the comments. Let me post it in the let me post it in the group comments real quick on this webinar since not everyone is. Yep. So by the way, if anyone's on the webinar right now, we've got 10 people on. I just posted the link to download this swipe file that I'm looking at right now. And like I said, we're only going to go through Facebook. There's Twitter and Instagram as well at the swipe file. All right. I'm going to go on through Cyber Monday. Oh, we already on through Cyber Monday. This is a great graphic. I like it. Super simple, very easy to get to, 25% off. Maybe add some urgency and scarcity somehow, but other than that, it's a great graphic. Another one I like a lot. Nothing to say there. I like that they're showing the was now prices, but I would simplify it. But it's probably this is like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, so far it looks like e-commerce 1, brick and mortar 0. Because the brick and mortar, they're more face-to-face. The e-commerce guys, this is the way they have to communicate. So it makes sense that these e-commerce companies for Cyber Monday are doing a better job.
Yeah, that does make sense. Okay, this is the same. I think this was the same company as before.
It is.
So, okay, I can deal with 1 or 2 hot ladies vaping here and there, as long as it's not overblown.
To be fair, they did have a man in their other one.
Yes, they had a man.
It's 50-50.
It's 50-50 thus far. I like that there's a date because a lot of people don't know when Cyber Monday is. I would suspect.
Same with Black Friday. I messed this up. I think it was last year. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to reuse some of my same images because it worked so well. I forgot to change the date on one and I posted it. Rather than like try and delete it and be, all crafty about it. Like the next day I just posted another one with a red X over the date with like the words oops in big bold letters. And it was just another opportunity because a lot of people were calling me out on it. So it was just another opportunity to advertise it and kind of remain human in the eyes of our followers.
Yeah. And that's a great, I call it turning tragedy into triumph, which is not like that's a big tragedy, but You know, people make mistakes. I just don't get overblown about it. It's all fun. If you, I don't even know if there was people that were like really like giving you crap too. I don't even know
It
if there
wasn't it
was, but
wasn't serious. It was all in good fun.
okay,
But
good.
yeah, the date is good. Just be sure to check the date.
Yes, check the date, double check it. And the other thing I like about this is overall a really good graphic because it's 20% off all orders, but 35% off if you spend over 60. So it's reaching for that bigger basket. I hope those margins are good for this company, but um, I think that's over. And it's also offering in-store discounts. So overall, I think this is a great promo. And this is an example of a brick and mortar with an e-commerce arm, it looks like. So that's a hard one to message and also a hard one to communicate. So because you don't want to steal all your store sales to with e-commerce, although maybe it doesn't matter. But you know, I guess it's always better to get people in the store buying because you have opportunity to upsell them and you don't have to pay for shipping, right? Do you have anything to say about that, Jimmy?
We've dabbled with being a brick and mortar with an e-commerce arm, and it's been more more hassle for us than anything. Not that customers are ever a hassle, but just the whole, getting it integrated and everything. We had to have just the right point of sale. So you're right. It is very difficult to kind of manage both those things and advertise for both of them at the same time. But I would much rather have somebody in the store talking to
Yeah,
them than just browsing through our cobbled together website.
me too. So you guys don't do e-commerce anymore?
We do, but we had some issues with people trying to put through fraudulent orders and things like that, which is probably for a different video. But we've really had to crack down on okay, we need your phone number, and you have to provide all this stuff, and it makes it turns a lot of people away. But the people that really do want to do business with us will push on through.
Hmm. This is, I would say, is probably not a rich enough offer for Cyber Monday. So 10% is not going to be beating out most of the other Cyber Monday offers. So that'd be my only comment on this. I like the graphic. Although it looks very Christmassy, at least it's clear. Interesting to note they have these pipes in between the hashtags. I don't know. Might work, might not. All right. The date in the post. Again, I would put more emphasis on making sure the graphic is clear rather than the post. I'm going to scroll through now to Thanksgiving. Oh, this is a great little opportunity here. Thanksgiving hours. If you have different hours for Thanksgiving, you better let people know about it. There is I don't know if you mess with Google My Business very much. I mean, I guess you have to, but there's have you messed with the alternate hours feature they have now?
Yes, religiously. Google My Business. You can live or die by Google My Business. I mean, especially we've got a ton of new people with all the military bases and stuff like that moving in and out of town.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing they do once they get set up, moved in, they say, "Okay, Google, vape shop near me." And my
Mm-hmm.
my phone's looking it up right now, but that's what they do. Or they say like, "Hey Siri," and maybe they'll get Yelp or something like that. But it's such a I mean, and think about how you make purchasing decisions, and when you're looking for something to go and buy something, whether it's food or something else, you look on your phone, and it's think of how nice it is when it's and especially if it's a holiday and you're looking something up and you're like, okay, cool, this is their confirmed holiday hours. You feel a whole lot better about going in that store than driving across town and they're closed and they've got a sign on the door.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
yes, absolutely update those Google hours. That is massively important.
I mean, unfortunately, people will usually look at the first hour's information they're able to find, which will hopefully be Google. But if it's Apple Maps or Yelp, you might have a bigger problem because those don't really update as fast as Google, in my experience.
Right. Yeah,
So
so go ahead and everybody that's watching, go ahead and do that right now. If you know what your hours are going to be, you know, minimize us and go to your Google My Business page and put those hours in right now so that it's set in stone before, you know, because you can forget, try and do it the day of, and it may not update in time.
Yep. Okay. Pumpkin pie flavored liquid. Probably can't do this now. This is 2014, so this is when you could do that still. They had their own. They've released a new flavor, pumpkin pie flavor. So it doesn't really help us here.
Another thing about all the, because I see we're going through Thanksgiving sales now, which I'm not a huge fan of personally. We don't run any other sales or anything during the month of November. We usually do one or two things. You know, we find a holiday or we create a holiday. But during November, just to continue to build the hype and everything, we don't. And, you know, people can come in and stock up on a different sale and then completely miss Black Friday. We
Yep.
keep all of that bottled up for Black Friday. And it also allows, because we didn't give any discounts or heavy discounts earlier in the month, we can run a heavier discount and a lower margin on Black Friday than if we were to run multiple sales that month.
Yes, I think that's exactly what such a great point again. That's kind of what I learned when looking through these screenshots. Because like I said, I told our virtual assistant to just give me all the screenshots you can of all these Thanksgiving and everything. And so what it's becoming apparent is that Thanksgiving, you know, people are waiting for Black Friday. I mean, you can do Thanksgiving style posts and I don't know, decorate your store. I don't know, you could have a turkey.
Just at a glance, these don't appear to be of the same quality as the Cyber Monday posts. So I think that's telling as well.
Yep. I think that what we're learning is that exactly what Jimmy said. Don't want to do a big sale before Black Friday or Cyber Monday, because then you're eating up their dollars that they would have otherwise spent in your store. So that's the lesson there. Here's that bundle for Christmas. So why did you pick this?
All I did here was I went into Canva and I changed the colors on our Black Friday. You know, so I was like, well, that works so well. I should work for Christmas too, right?
Yeah.
But I changed the products in here to more of a starter kit, more of a stop smoking thing, and to kind of fit with the theme of stocking stuffers, so that somebody that, you know, I've got somebody in my family that smokes that has expressed a little bit of interest in vaping, but they're afraid of that startup cost. And what you'll see here is you've got your starter kit, which comes with an extra coil. You're getting a pretty big bottle of liquid of 60 mil. And you're also getting a 5-pack of coils. So that's enough to, you know, we won't see them till well into the new year, but it's actually kind of likely that we will, because they'll come in, well, how the hell do I set this thing up, unless the person that gave it to them knows. But this, you can get people that don't vape to come in and buy stuff for people that also don't vape. So that is kind of a unique thing if they happen to see that. But that's what it was for the stocking stuffers, for to be given as a gift.
That's exactly what you should be doing too. Do you think that this was the right time frame?
Possibly not.
Maybe a little bit sooner? Or what do you think? Later?
Yeah, and this was also kind of a last minute thing, you know, to get those last minute people that are like, oh crap, I didn't get this person, this smoker in my life, I didn't get them anything for Christmas, so maybe I should do that. But in this year, we'll probably run it like all month long.
Yeah. Heather, great point. Are you running nicotine warnings on this type of flyer? The answer would have to be yes. You doing that, Jimmy?
No. Well, so the stuff that we post to social media, we do put a nicotine warning on there, but the stuff in store, no. To me, that's ridiculous. And I make every chance I get, I make the joke where on a bottle of liquid, it's got this huge warning, or it's got a tag hanging off it that says this product contains nicotine. I'll say, oh, I sure hope it does. I'm paying good money for it.
Well, this one snuck in. I wouldn't recommend that type of juice, a liquid, but this is just an example of at least acknowledging it's Christmas, New Year's, just doing a themed post. So, I don't think New Year's is really a sale opportunity. It is in the party industry, but not really for vaping, unless people really just want to stock up on their liquids before their e-liquid party or for their New Year's party or something. They're doing a lot. You see a lot of giveaways and stuff. So I don't know what you do for New Year's, but
We usually don't do anything. I think one of the years we had something that was pretty successful. We used the new year to, I should have sent you this graphic as well, but we used the new year to launch a new referral program. It's a new year, new deal. If you refer somebody to come in, then, somebody that, because I mean, what you do want to do is you want to capture the people that are doing those resolutions. I'm going to quit smoking this year. And if they say that to their friend that vapes, then their friend that vapes would be like, they'll put it together. Wait a second, I've got this. I can get a discount, and they can get a discount. Here, go here, see these guys. That was very successful for us.
That's really more of what maybe these other snapshots could have been about, is the things in January, the resolution type of promos that maybe we can add to this later or something. But yeah, I mean, I don't think people don't really consider New Year's a shopping event, but those resolutions are huge, absolutely huge. And you got to find a way to, I mean, I remember looking at this. If you do a Google Trends, I could probably do this right now, but if you do a Google Trends search of quit smoking, I mean, it's just nothing, and then boom, right at January. I mean, it's ridiculous. So you have to take advantage of that. So yeah, New Year's may not be a good like sale opportunity, but January, the entire month of January, absolutely, you should be thinking of something for converting those smokers.
Something that's popular is offering. We've never had a huge amount of success with this, but you could offer somebody a discount for throwing their pack of cigarettes away in your garbage can.
Yeah. Or yeah, those trading programs. I mean, it's even more powerful to be able to hang those up in your store.
Right.
But maybe a big Christmas Santa stack or something, or you put your cigarettes in. Yeah, 12 days of Christmas. Yeah, that's a good Christmas idea. Anyway, I don't think we're going to be seeing anything that we haven't already seen, especially since New Year's is kind of not really a big holiday. So we're right about an hour. We can start taking some questions because now we're already into Twitter for Halloween. So if anyone's got any questions, now's a good time. Other than that, Jimmy, would you have anything, what are you going to, I don't know, what are you hoping to get out of this holiday season, I guess?
For us, it's always, Halloween is kind of more of a get together. We're doing like a trivia night for some of our friends and loyal customers and stuff like that. It's not really a big sale day for us. Black Friday is that's our crown jewel. Our sales last year on Black Friday were somewhere around 7 to 13 times what they are on an average day. It was like half a month's worth of revenue in one day. It was absolutely insane. So that's always huge for us. And then Christmas is more about gift giving and gearing up for the resolutions. And then after you get into January, then it's all about capturing the people that are there for the resolutions. So starter kit, bundle deals, and stuff like that. Very powerful. So that's kind of our plan and what we're hoping for.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I mean, Halloween, it is a big retail day, but it's for candy and for, costumes and stuff. So, and decorations and parties and things like that. So, I don't think people are really thinking about vaping, but any type of event is always a good idea. I love event marketing, giving people an experience, even doing those stupid little, like, what does this feel like? Oh, it's eyeballs or something, I mean, anytime you can entertain people and just, and let people see your personality is always a good idea. So that's probably more appropriate for Halloween. And obviously decorate your store and everything.
Yeah, that's always been popular too. I think really the biggest piece of advice that I could leave everyone with is to get on the phone and talk to your favorite manufacturers. I'm sure you've got some you don't like. Call the people you do like and tell them, look, I want to do it big this Black Friday, and place a big order with them to get that deep discount so you can afford to run that big discount. Advertise for it, and I promise you you'll have an excellent day.
Yeah. Jimmy, thanks so much for doing this, man.
It's no problem.
You're always so generous with your time and your advice. You know, I'm gonna see if Jonathan Acher can join us for something like this. You're welcome to join us for that too, because he might be willing to share his Black Friday secret about that. So I'd like to see if he could maybe join us for that. But if you're not on our Facebook group, please join us. We'll be talking about all this stuff, you know, throughout the holiday season. It's like I said, it's kind of my specialty, promotions and marketing. So I love talking ideas and answering your questions. And Jimmy's in the group as well. He's always very generous with his advice and information. Please download the click on that link in the comments if you're watching on Facebook, or in the comments if you're on the in the chat if you're in the webinar, for this swipe file, so you can get inspiration for all of your social media posts for the holiday season. And of course, our Vape Shop certification, which is our turnkey employee training solution for vape shop owners who want to train their employees on FDA regulations, battery safety, customer service, anything that you regularly need to train your new and established employees on. We're adding state information as well. So state specific regulations and taxes and anything like that, we're partnering with all our state organizations to add that information in. So when you become a VapeU student and you get enrolled in the Vape Shop certification, you can enroll all of your employees through the course. They get a certificate of completion, and we keep records of all of the training activity for you so that you can train your employees on FDA regulations. It's been getting a lot of great feedback, and click on, I'll post a link in the chat. Go to school.vapeu.com to learn more about that. And I will post a link in the chat and in the comments to get more information on that. So with that said, thanks Norm for the compliments. He was listening, but he did not say anything for once. I can't believe it. Just kidding. Hey, thank you, Heather, for joining us. Thank you, Janet, as well. I'm going to be signing off. Unless you got something else to say, Jimmy.
Nope. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Thank you. Have a good holiday.
You as well.
Let's see here. I gotta end meeting. There we go.